So my name is Bernie Sue. I am I guess, an interactive creator and showrunner for online media. The showrunner is the head writer or head executive producer of a television show. So they're just the head creative voice. They're running the production. Not saying they're doing everything. They're just the top person, and there are a lot of people below them, other producers, line producers, other writers, all part of this massive machine that has to churn out either a TV show each week if it's TV, or for us, whatever our content is going to be each week or day, depending on what our show is. I am that for many online shows or franchises across different online video platforms. I moved to Hollywood to go into TV. Was my initial goal. I grew up in Silicon Valley, so I had this very vast kind of tech exposure growing up. And so when I saw the kind of move of media or the dispersion of media into online, I kind of just pivoted and said, oh, that's interesting. That's super interesting. What's going on in online video here? Let's play over there. Is there a space here for showrunners or TV shows or longer form stories that can be told in this media rather than, say, a television media? So for myself and my work, I've always thought of all my content across all medias to be content that contributes to the grander story world, the grander experience. So you actually create more of an immersive, like multi-platform experience rather than, hey, here's a TV show with all the marketing driving to the TV show. You can do other content on other platforms, like the social media platforms you may be using. And yes, your main shows are on TV, but you could actually have it be expanded content on these other platforms to grow that world and cater to a passionate fan base, for example. I would think the notable one is the show, the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, which was an adaptation of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice on YouTube, told natively for YouTube, and also using other media platforms, social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr at the time to expand its story world. Very revolutionary at its time. It was 2012 when we did that show. And it notably won the first Primetime Emmy award ever awarded to a YouTube original series. 2015, there was a show called Vanity, which was on YouTube. And it was how it came together was that the network, Style Hall, wanted as a partner Maybelline, the brand. And they wanted to do a big kind of flashy thing for one of their campaigns. And so Style Hall asked me to design a narrative series based on a brief that Maybelline had sent them. And so I designed a teen drama, soap drama. The press called it a revenge soap drama, which I kind of loved because it's actually true. and it was very much catered to the brief of identity and all that. Show was called Vanity, literally, figuratively, set in front of vanity mirrors, so Maybelline products were present and all that. The thing is, I do understand and empathize with the brands that require that for whatever reason. Maybe it's them, maybe it's the agency telling the brand, or the brand telling the agency, it's like, where's our hero shot of our product? I completely understand that. The thing is that there's always going to be an audience member that's going to call it out in the comments and say, why are you treating us like this or doing this or saying these things? And me as the creator just has to kind of, this is what in my mind, I'm not going to defend myself publicly on that, but in my mind, I have to go, hey, well, that is what the brand told me to do. So brand, this is really on you. This is what you wanted, and this is the result you're going to get. So my kind of suggestion to brands and agencies in the future of this stuff is to just find more elegant ways. Find more elegant ways to do this. In our show, the classic one was that when the character was about to do something that she had to it was scary for her, she would pump herself up by applying the makeup, right? Something that, I think, I don't know, I don't apply makeup myself, but it feels like that's actually authentic to a young female's experience of, I'm about to do this job interview, I'm going to fix my makeup up to give myself more confidence, go in and go kill it, okay? All right. That's authentic. No one's going to call you out on that, I feel, rather than stopping the show and going, wait, what's that you're using on your lips? Like, oh, it's this. Oh, does it come in other colors? Like, where it becomes more of an ad. So that's a general rule of what I look at it is just, again, be elegant with it. Right now, I am the showrunner and co-creator and executive producer of Artificial, which is a live sci-fi scripted series on Twitch. It's serialized, it's interactive, it's live, as I just said. The audience can drive the story different directions, and we give them this power. And it just won a Primetime Emmy Award for innovation in interactive media. I remember when I first started doing Artificial on Twitch, I was explaining to my friends, and they were like, "Why are you trying to do something so hard? Like, you could just do a sci-fi show, but you had to make this live, interactive, and have the audience ability to like manipulate it." I'm like, "Yeah, because that's what Twitch does. like that's what Twitch is good for." And I wanted to see if this was possible, if you could do it. That's kind of the reason why. It's the same ethos going into Lizzie Bennet Diaries way back in 7 years ago with YouTube, when it wasn't about doing a movie on YouTube. It was about using YouTube and what YouTube does to tell Pride and Prejudice. And so in Artificial's case, now 7 years later, it's about using what Twitch does to tell a sci-fi show. Storytelling is changing in the sense that storytelling is now almost requiring the involvement or response from the viewer to optimize. Before, it was just kind of throwing out in the ether and waiting for the box office numbers or the reviews or the ratings or the numbers, the Nielsen numbers. That would gauge success. And that's fine, and that can certainly gauge success. But in today's world, with this kind of conversation that we're almost having with our audiences, we as the immersive storytellers, I like to think, are expecting to have almost requiring the feedback to come in. And the feedback doesn't have to be necessarily good. It could be bad. It could be negative feedback. It could be, "I don't like this. This show was terrible," or whatever. And that's okay, at least in the short term, because then we can optimize as storytellers to that and respond and make it better. When I design my online video experiences, at least so far, I have made it so that still stands. And that's just the way I build. Lizzie Bennet Diaries is this way, Artificial is this way. You don't have to interact with Artificial to have a good experience. I would say you have a better experience if you do, but you won't be lost. We try to find the interactive mechanisms and the immersive mechanisms through the online video and online tech social platforms. But at the other end, the character of the story is a character with their own personal rules and boundaries of what they will and will not do. So I work with the audience that's on the platform already. So Twitch's audience is its own beast, and it's very large. So it's not like, oh, they're all this. It's giant, whatever it is, 200 million uniques are coming through each month. There's a lot of different people on the platform. So I think Artificial did have to evolve to play more to the audience on Twitch. And I think we did. I think we can still evolve. I think there's other ways that we can be more optimized to the platform and to the audiences and their expectations on that on Twitch. And I think if you're creating on a platform, you should know that. Something that TV doesn't have to worry about, ironically. The big thing about our show is that in our interactivity is that whatever the audience picks, that's it. That's canonically, that's the choice. So if the audience picks a favorite color, and that whatever color it is, that's the canonical choice. The audience picks a relationship, that's a canonical choice of it. And we stand by this as like our big mantra. It's like the audience is consequential. That's the biggest innovation, I think, of Artificial, is that you have a scripted, serialized sci-fi show. Whatever the audience is affecting, it matters. So it's not, say, a branch narrative, choose your own adventure story, where you can do the other choice and see what happens in the other branch. Okay. Yes, we may have branches, but when you make the choice, you will never see what that branch is. The example I give is that, so if the audience chooses what our relationship is going to be. So, for example, you come up to you greet me as I walk in, and the audience has a choice. You can either hug me or you can punch me. Okay, this is high stakes because this is going to completely change our relationship forever. This is what it creates the consequence for the audience, and the audience then feels this consequence. So now it's not just a throwaway poll that when you throw something up. Everything's high stakes. Everything is consequential. And that's what we're selling. That's what the innovation is. And that is why I believe Artificial has won that Emmy. And so there's actually a lot of philosophy in AI. And one of the big themes about our show is that she questions the hypocrisy of humanity. We're outraged about people killing dogs, but we eat cows and pigs, like stuff like that. So she questions that all the time because she's such a blank slate, and the audience can kind of guide her on these things. When is it okay to kill somebody? How did you save 1 versus 5? These type of things. And those are baby level things, and we've certainly gotten to bigger issues. And one of the things I actually found really amusing as we went along is that we do this trick in the show. I call it a trick because it's kind of a thing we do, where every episode, because we're live, we always shout out some piece of press that's happened that day. Okay. And we've hit some really, really iconic days, like the day when they announced the iPhone XS. We made a little joke out of it because they announced the iPhones. The audience has this thing like, whoa, this is live. This is happening right now. And then we started to evolve it where we tried to pull, not say the biggest political news, we would pull the biggest AI news, and those can be big or small. And so you have things like, and they would try to bring into discussion. It's like, hey, so do you want to discuss the Elon Musk's brain chip that they're going to implant into people's brains? And they would try to move to the plot. Like, no, I actually want to discuss our personal issues that we're having. You can watch the chat, our broadcasts, and you can see the yeses and the nos and this side and the discussion happening. I always thought Twitch as a platform was very chaotic. Well, it is chaotic. There's no doubt about that. But they would always pick the chaos result. Hug punch. Oh, you're getting punched. Like, I don't care who you are. You're getting punched. Like that's what the Twitch audience you think is going to do. But we found that the audience would actually be protective of characters and actually not do the chaotic version of the result. And I found that to be really interesting because if you're giving the audience power in the result of your characters, yes, you as a dramatic storyteller want dramatic things to happen to them, but it's fascinating to see the audience care so much that they want to protect them. Oh, no, he's not getting punched, and that sort of thing. So I found that to be, just personally as a storyteller, I found that to be incredibly fascinating with a platform as chaotic as Twitch. And I'd say the process of team design that I do is I actually subscribe to this philosophy of like you're trying to find misfit toys, because what doesn't work is if you take some like super seasoned, grizzled, 20-year experience TV show writer who really can write, the bejesus out of a TV show, and they do that really well, and have to teach them this method. It's actually far easier to take a young and hungry, savvy young writer who doesn't have that grizzled TV experience as a pure writer, but then has the open-mindedness to go, I want the audience to do something here. I want to write to the audience. It's not about controlling the story. It's about putting this canvas out there where the audience can maneuver the character themselves around the narrative. So that's actually the key element of finding these Renaissance people that they're jack of all tradesy people where they can hit multiple skills, and that's what my team is made out of. Because we're live, we don't really have to design those far down branches until these branches are set. So we just kind of go roughly here and like just focus here, just get to the next one. In that scenario, we are scripting. Okay, so one common question that we get is for artificial is the show improv? Because it's live, right? Like, why would it be improv? Why wouldn't it be improv? And I always respond, actually, it's not improv. Every line they say is on a script somewhere. They may ad-lib from the line, which is totally fine, but every line they say is either on the printed page, on a screen that's off screen that they're reading off of, or something that we've told them to say in between live scenes. So it's all scripted by the writers. The main reason why we do that is because it's a sci-fi drama and we have to control the canon. We can't let a character reveal some tech thing that's not canonical to what we've said in the past. Writers have to control that. And that's actually the thing with Lizzie Bennet Diaries, was the same thing, was when Lizzie Bennet Diaries kind of revolutionized the whole characters tweeting thing. The common question was, are the actors writing the tweets? I'm like, no, the actors aren't writing the tweets. The writers are writing the tweets. The writers are the one controlling the canon. The actors perform it. If the actor is seen performing a video on the tweet, or with a tweeted video or a photo, yes, that's the actor. But they're guided by the writers, whether it be myself or the other writers on the show. I will create an innovation, but I will still have the mind for economics and revenue and business and technology to play in. Where's the revenue model? How does it sustain? How can it sustain? It doesn't have to sustain right away, but it has to have this theory of where revenue is coming back in to support the content. Or else how do we pay our people? So what's valuable? Money, that's obvious. So the more money you make, the more valuable you are. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, other things that not necessarily directly tied to money is audience. Okay, the more audience you have, the more value you have. So Twitch has these things called extensions. Okay, which overlay onto the experience where a streamer can apply. It's as simple as saying, I want the chat to appear on the video. That's an extension that does that. For us, we have a poll system. The poll system for our storytelling is important. You can get hugged or you can get punched. Okay, the audience votes. You get punched. Okay, person's getting punched. Here we go. Right. The innovation in our polling system is that we've added monetization in it. Twitch has a monetization system. It's called bits. It's a currency that's in-world that you can donate bits to a streamer and say, hey, I really like your stuff. You as an audience member get to vote for free with 1 vote, but you can buy more votes with bits. And now what that does is does 2 things. 1, it creates more revenue, the obvious one, okay? But 2, now it creates more power to the audience that cares. I don't want to see you get punched. That poll is 60% punch right now. I'm going to single-handedly swing it the other direction and save you from getting punched in the face because I care about you. That's the power that our system gives. So immersive, what immersive means to me is that the audience is part of the story and they're consequential to it. I mean, that's really it to me. So there's immersive where you feel like you're in it, say like a VR movie, but you're not consequential to a VR movie. Okay, you're not affecting things. And it doesn't mean you have to like be able to, prevent Luke Skywalker from blowing the Death Star, like something huge like that. I'm just saying little things, just to like, if I walk over here and I sit down in the chair, the pillows sink. That's a consequence to it. Those type of things, and that's what I want. That's what I think immersive really is, and that's what I think the great experiences do, whether they're mine or the theater ones or the theme park ones or whatever. It's like the audience actually gets to do something and something is affected by it. So that's my key thing of that. And so to your students, I look at it as a very simple top level philosophy is like find ways where the audience can work together. That's the biggest difference between our show and say a choose your own adventure experience branch narrative like a Bandersnatch or a book of choose your own CYA, is that those are singular experiences. You're not working together. You're not helping each other. In our show, the audience comes together and works together to help the main character or hurt the main character in the journey. And that's what we do. And I think I would like to see that more from immersive storytellers. And a lot of the ones do it. I'm not saying we're the only ones. We are definitely not the only ones doing it. But that's what I think the greats do, is find a way for, 1, making them consequential and making them collaborative. And that's okay. Oh. Little breather.
No. Oh, we're just hearing the bus, that's all. We're just hearing the beep, so we're going to do it again. No worries.